awitin na yan. It's very calming, very peaceful na salita. Thank you everyone for coming this evening. Alam ko po na kayong lahat ay pagod from work, but thank you for coming. And I thank God also for this opportunity until coming. I invite everyone to open your Bible in the book of Job. We'll be reading one verse only, Job chapter 3, verse 25. One verse. Some text na po. So I'm inviting everyone to please stand. Aside natin yung let us read all together Job chapter 3 verse 25. And the Bible says, "For the things which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come upon me." Basahin po ulit. Yes, the Bible says, "For the things which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come upon me." Let us pray. Heavenly gracious God, Panginoon, salamat po sa privilege niyo po, Ama, ng tutulog sa atin. At yan po sa mga kapatiran ko, Ama, ng ganito, Ama. Lord, I already sent my petition sa inyo kaninang umaga po. Pray mo, Lord God, that you will help your children, Lord God, to understand the message of Lord God. And also pray mo, Lord, na yung pag-mga Espiritu, Lord, na mangusap sa bawat isa, Lord God. Lord, especially, we are praying to help us glorify the name of our Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, Lord God. Lord, we pray for the forgiveness of our sin. Pinisin mo pang bawat puso namin, Ama, that you will be worthy to stand to praise you, Lord God, sa araw ito for our Lord Jesus Christ. And Lord God, we are praying also, Lord God, that you continue to protect this place. And we are praying, Lord God, ikaw na ako po, Ama, siya mag-lead sa amin po. Ama, salamat po. Maraming sa aming dalangin in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. So, good evening one. Good evening once again. Nakaka-alam yung dalawang mic. Bababa mo na isa. Hirap ng dalawa yung mic. So, thank you once again. It is a great privilege na makatayo sa inyong harapan. As I've said kanina, it is a blessing na nabigyan ng opportunity to share kung ano yung in-impress ng Panginoon sa puso ko. I said it to some of the brethren, if it will be God's will na ipagkaloob niya na makapaglingkod sa Kanya sa mission field, I will be glad to accept that responsibility. But as I believe, calling is from God alone. Kung may tatawagin mo ng Panginoon, siya lang nakakalam. And as what the message last time na binanggit ng Panginoon, God will always use common people. And lahat naman tayo dito is common people. So rest assured that God has planned something for us para sa kanyang gawa. So sa gabi ito, our text is from Job chapter 3 verse 25. Usually, if we heard about the book of Job, most of the time, ang naiisip natin is about trials, right? Afflictions, yung mga bagay na nangyari kay Job. And yun yung mga bagay na most of the time naiisip natin. But going back sa text natin sa gabi ito, makikita natin that Job uttered these words after he was visited by his friends. No? They were sitting in the dust for 7 days and 7 nights without talking to each other. And this is some of the few words that Job sinabi niya. Sabi niya, "For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me." Looking deeply sa verse natin, somehow parang iniisip ko that when Job was speaking onto this verse, he was already anticipating into something. Di po ba? He was already thinking something na one of these days, this thing would happen to him. Even though Job was described in the Bible as an upright man, that he feared God and eschewed evil, but still, pakikita natin that Job is afraid of something. And that's what he said in this verse, no? And ganyan din sa atin, no? Most of us, or all of us, are afraid of something, no? Kaya nga, sana yung opening statement ko in this verse is, what is your greatest fear? By the way, yung title pa ng message natin, my greatest fear. Okay? Ang pinakatakutan ko. I don't know kung tama yung Tagalog ko, hindi kasi ako manilenyo. Tama po ba? Hindi kasi ako manilenyo. I'm sorry kung hindi siya tama. But mixed breed ako. Mixed breed ng Ilocano at Bisaya. So, I'm not
Amen. John.
And I'm proud to be one, no? Mixed breed.
Amen.
Kaya pasensya na rin kayo sa tanong ko, medyo matigas na. But what is your greatest fear? All of us is afraid of something. Di ba? All of us is afraid of something. Somehow, maski yung mga bagay na hindi pa nangyayari sa'yo, sometimes you are thinking of it and it makes you scared. Siguro, I will make an example for Brother Samuel here. Maybe Brother Samuel, one of the things that he is scared of is that before the wedding day, Sister Martha would cancel the weddings. Am I right, Brother Samuel?
Cancel.
I'm just joking. But all of us are afraid of something. I remember my mom before, when I was a little boy, kasi palagi niya akong inutusan magdilig ng halaman, and she is afraid of earthworms. So ang ginagawa ko, hinukupay ko yun and then binibigay ko sa kanya. Most of the time, talagang sumisigaw yung nanay ko. So, all of us is afraid of something. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threats. Di po ba? Most of the time, if we think about something that we are afraid of, even though hindi pa siya nangyayari, parang natatakot na kayo, di ba? Parang something na sana hindi dumating itong bagay na ito. But most of the time, if we think of that thing that we are afraid of, natatakot na tayo. If we will take a survey in this crowd today, hindi lang dito sa loob ng church, but even outside, we can safely conclude that the greatest fear of everyone is death. Tama ba? The greatest fear of everyone is greatest fear of everyone is death. Actually, I have a story in this. When I was around siguro mga 20 or 19 years old, I met this guy. Yeah, personally. It's not a story, but it's a real life story. I met him. One time I was sleeping, and then suddenly when I opened my eyes, he was already sitting beside me. Tsaka ganyan talaga. He don't have a face, but I feel that he was staring at me. And ganyan din yung ginawa niya. He lifted up his hand, and I saw those hands. Parang ganito lang din. Then, when he put it down, everything was black. Wala na akong makita. And then, I feel na he was choking me. Hindi ka na sa liig ko yung kamay niya. He was really choking me. And on that time, I was really crying. Umiyak ako. And I was praying on that time. And God answers prayer kasi hindi ako natuluyan eh. God answers prayer. But I met him. He's really real. That is real. In the Bible, it is likened into sleeping. Yung death is like sleeping. In 1 Corinthians 11:30 and also in 1 Thessalonians 4:14. No, we will not open that verse. But just mark it down. And it is like sleeping. Also, in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 56, the Bible says that death is the sting of sin. Ito yung kapangyarihan or yung sting ng sin. Three things about sin. Three things about sin these evenings. Number one, death is a sure event for all. Death is a sure event for all. No? I-exclude natin dito si Enoch at si Elijah. Kasi baka magtanong kayo sa akin mamaya, paano si Enoch at si Elijah? Exclude natin sila. But besides those two, everybody dies. In this life, a lot of things are uncertain. Jobs, from time to time, mga iba sa atin dito na nawawalan ng trabaho, it is uncertain. Businesses, maraming mga negosyo na nalulunod or nababankrupt. Economy of Qatar now is not doing well. Relationships, sometimes things get rough sa relationships. And also health natin. The more na nag-i-age tayo, the more na our health is very prone to sickness. But one thing is certain, and that is death. Isang bagay lang po ang certain in this life, and that is death. In Genesis 3:22, Genesis 2, verse 17, the Bible says, "But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die." Even though on this time, Adam, hindi pa niya alam yung death, he didn't know about death yet. But God already pronounced death to Adam. If he will violate yung pumanangkanan. Not only death spiritually, but even physical death. Also, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 2, the Bible says, "A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted." So sabi dyan in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 2, "A time to be born, and a time to die." Kung papansinin niyo po yung verse na ito, it's not even mentioned here, a time to live. Diba? Kasi dapat a time to be born, and a time to live, and a time to die. But it never mentioned here. Ganun po kung tayo isipin yung buhay natin. Life is so short that even the preacher of this, of the writer of this book did not mention about living. Once a person lives, as born, he is already prone to die. Any minute. Pagkalabas pa lang ng bata, sila pupunan ng kanyang mom, any minute, he is already prone to die. That's what the Bible says. In Genesis, illustration natin, in Genesis chapter 5, verse 27, "And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years." Napakahaba ng buhay, 969 years. The oldest person who lives in this planet. But the last word that was mentioned there in the Bible is, he died. He died. The Bible didn't mention that he lived continuously, but he died. Also in Luke chapter 16, verse 22, the Bible says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried." Two persons you must see here. Two status of life, a beggar and a rich man. But the end of the words that was said there is, both of them died. Even status sa buhay natin could not hold death. It could not hold death. As you can see, all who have life on this earth will someday die. Yung mga katabi niya dyan, one of these days they will die. You might enjoy or cherish them now, because one of these days they will die. Nobody knows. Di ba? Nobody knows. Let us just huwag kang maglala. Ayun siya. Mga kapatid-kapatid. Number 2, in our lesson, number 2 is that is a sorrowful event for all unsaved people. Amen? It is a sorrowful event. Unsaved means people who had not accepted the Lord Jesus Christ in their life as their Lord and personal Savior. These are people who don't have personal relationship with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. In Revelation 20, verse 11 to 15, let's open our Bible there in Revelation 20, verse 11 to 15. Ito po yung sinasabi ng Panginoon na the great white throne judgment for the unsaved people. The Bible says, "And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works." And in verse 15 po, ito sinabi ng salita ng Panginoon, "And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire." Ito yung magiging destination to those people who are unsaved. In Luke 16, verse 22, the Bible says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom, and the rich man also died and was buried." As what I told you, status in life could not hold them. And in this verse, both of them died. But look at the following verse in verse 23. The Bible says, this is about the rich man, and it says, "And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment." Yan po sinabi ng salita ng Panginoon. "And seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom." Yan po yung nangyayari sa kanya. He was in torment. The word torment means severe physical or mental suffering. Severe physical and mental suffering. And in verse 24, the Bible says, "And he cried and said, Father, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this place." Yun ang sinasabi niya eh. He was tormented in this place. This will be the end of those people who don't have the Lord Jesus Christ in their life. Pictures pa lang po yan. But yesterday I was looking into these people who was burned alive. It is not an enjoyable thing na ma-burn ka na buhay. It's not enjoyable. God did not allow me to post videos because I was really trying to get one video na i-post ko, pakita ko sa inyo kung gaano kahirap if you'll be burned alive. But instead, God allowed me to put these two pictures for you. That one, the other one, ito yung Jordanian pilot na sinulog ng ISIS. This other one, this was in Africa. This is an African guy. I think he was burned because he was caught stealing. Ito yung nagiging features nila. But the Bible said that when the rich man was in hell, when he was tormented in fire, he did not die. He was still alive. Itong dalawang ito, after a couple of minutes when they were burned, they died physically. But someday when those people will be going to hell, If they will be there, they will not die ever. They will live in life. There is nothing more sorrowful that can happen to a person's life than to be in hell someday. Amen? Wala pong mas malungkot pa na mangyayari sa buhay ng isang tao to be in hell someday. That place is the worst place. Dapat hindi na talaga even those people to desire it. My dear brethren, my dear hearers, hell is real. Hell is real. It might not be you who will be there in hell someday. It might not be you. But it might be your unsaved loved ones. It might be your unsaved loved ones. It might be your unsaved office mates. Yung mga kakulitan mo sa opisina, kakwentuhan mo. It might be them in that place to be tormented in this. It might be your unsaved friends. Mga best friends natin. Mga circle of friends natin. It might be them. Or it might be some people, it might be some unsaved acquaintances. Yung mga namimit natin sa daan. It might be them someday. It might not be you, but it might be them. Please think of them. Think of them. If you really believe that there is hell in this place, please tell them about the Savior. Remember God's warning in the book of Ezekiel. Ito yung warning ng Panginoon sa atin. He said in chapter 3, verse 18, "When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity." But the last phrase says, "But his blood will I require at thy hand." But his blood I will require at thy hand. I remember the story that Brother Chester told last week when he has his friend, he has his friend, he was convicted in telling about the Savior, but hindi niya ginawa. And he quote also this verse. Baka sabihin niyo, hindi naman siguro. God only said, He will require it at our hands. Hindi lang po kayo, but even me. I have a lot of friends. Sinasawag ko silang friends. They are still unsaved until now. And point number 3 po, ito po yung pinakalas. That is a shining event for all saved people. Pwede na kayong umiti. Kasi tapos na yung mga saved people. Saved means people who fully believe in the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. Yung gospel ng Panginoon Jesus. In 1 Corinthians 15 verse 3, "For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scripture, and that He was buried, and that He rose again the third day according to the Scripture." Also, saved people means these are people who are fully persuaded that only the blood of our Lord Jesus Christ can atone or cleanse us from our sin. Hindi baptism. It's not baptism. It's the blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. Revelation 1:5, the Bible says, "From Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, upon him that loved us and washed us from our sins in His own blood." Ephesians chapter 1 verse 7, "In whom we have redemption through His blood, the forgiveness of sins, according to the riches of His grace." We have redemption through His blood. not to any kind of blood. Also in Colossians 1:14, in whom we have redemption through His blood, even the forgiveness of sin. The death of a believer is not the end. It's not the end of life, but it is the beginning of eternity with Christ, our Redeemer, as it is described in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51 to 57. The Bible says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this incorruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So then this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality. Then shall be brought to pass the saying that death is swallowed in victory." Also in 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13 to 18, makikita po natin where the resurrection will take place in the second coming of our Savior. In Luke 16 verse 22, again, the account of the beggar and the rich man, the Bible says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom." Sabi dyan, Abraham's bosom. In Matthew 8 verse 11, the Bible says, "And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven." This will be the place of those people who have accepted the Lord Jesus Christ in their life as their Lord and personal Savior. Joyfulness will fill the heart of those who believe, and those who will believe in the Lord Jesus Christ as their Lord and personal Savior, to the Jew first and also to the Gentiles. In Revelation 21 verse 3 and verse 4, the Bible says, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be with His people, and God Himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are past away." Di ba masaya?
Amen.
No death, no sorrow, no pain, no crying. It's a joyful place. Di ba? It is a joyful place. In conclusion, Hebrews 9:27, the Bible says, "And it is appointed unto man once to die, but after this the judgment." One of these days we will die. One of these days we will die. One blessing that I received this week is listening to a preaching, and it was from a preacher named George Miller from 1800s. And one thing he said about faith is that faith is holding or believing in what God has said in His Word. Amen? Believing in what God has said. At yun po yung ginawa ko lang po sa inyo ngayon. Just trying to show you all the passages in the Bible that would relate to the topic about death and the things that will happen to those people who have not accepted the Lord Jesus Christ and to those people who have accepted the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, if death is real and it will come, and as what the Bible says, death has its appointed time, it will come sooner or later. The question is, are you prepared? Are you prepared to meet death? Let us pray. Heavenly gracious God, salamat po sa pagkakalito. Thank you, Lord God, for the message that you have